Hi, my name is Francisco Javier Diaz Islas, and this is my video for the evidence number one, identity, nationhood, and cultural assets. The point of this evidence is for me to explore my identity through my own culture or the culture where I belong. For this, the assignment gives us two very interesting questions in which we can develop our information so we can explain it. So the first one is how can we communicate based on who we are? So, first of all, our cultural identity is about belonging to a social group and about shared practices and traditions. A lot can be expressed through many ways. We can express things or show our cultural identity through food, drink, sports, language, religious beliefs, and practices, festivals, carnivals, and even holidays. All of this tells a lot about our culture, tells a lot about who we are and what are we. This also gives us a sense of identification or a place to where we belong, something that characterizes us, something that makes us different from other places. So we can, for example, in Mexico, we can tell stories with shows, with festivals, with holidays such as Día de los Muertos, 16 de septiembre, 5 de mayo. All of this, we are expressing our history through a lot of festivals, through stories. A lot can be said with these holidays. We are giving to other people, we are expressing to other countries and even other states our story and or our our cultural background of what we lived and what made us here, what made us, what forged us. And the next question is how do we display the different identities within the same nation? So it's no secret that inside a nation there are of course different cultures. For example, here in Mexico, we don't have the same culture for every state. We have different cultures in different states. What characterizes the most in Mexico is our culture is rich, colorful, and vibrant, and its influence in ancient civilization, such as the Aztecs, Mayas, and as well as the European colonization. So Mexico is unique and is one of the most interesting cultures. All of this because of everything that happened in the past, all the ancient civilizations that lived here in Mexico. And of course, they were not only from Central America. There were a lot from South and North America that migrate through Mexico. So a lot of cultures were mixed up. And that's what gives us an identity or different identities. Is the culture in Merida is not the same as the culture in Oaxaca, or the culture in Sonora is not the same as Veracruz, because different civilizations live there. There are different practices, different carnivals, different festivals that are not celebrated in the same place. And this is what identifies each state from itself. It's what makes them stand out and not be the same. This, of course, is really interesting and actually is a subject that touched up a lot of my attention, and I actually liked investigating about it. So uh, the states are differentiated by our food, our practices, our habits, our festivals, our parties, everything, everything. So this is how we can tell a story about ourselves. The states tell their stories with their practices. They tell their stories with shows, even with language, because some of the indigenous language are still spoken in Mexico. I don't have the data about which ones, but there are a lot of indigenous languages that are still spoken on the south of Mexico, in the south of Mexico. So there's a lot of characteristics that differentiate the states or the different cultures in different states. And we actually the way we live, the way we celebrate those things is how we can express it. So mm, I would like to say that there's not such thing as a special way of living for you to express your culture, because the culture is what made us. The culture is already inside us uh, in such a way of speaking. The culture defines us and gives us an identity. So there's no special way of living for us to express our culture. It's just us living. It's just us speaking. It's just us celebrating. And that's how we express everything. Thank you.